Oh, memes. Did you see the memvid thing? Hang on. There was this AI. We are now getting people vibe coding innovations in AI advancement, and one of these was memvid. And there were, like 2 days ago, there were all these posts on Twitter and on Hacker News. The guy who built this actually built a show HN post out of this. And what he did was he took PDF files, converted them, I think, into text files, chunked the text files, converted the chunks into QR codes, and serialized the QR codes into an MP4 video file. And this was supposed to be a highly efficient AI database. And it's nice when things are so obviously nonsense. I was also hang on, where was this? This one was an issue where people were trying to talk sense into the guy. I mean, it's just already knowing that getting from text to QR is definitely an increase in information. So, like, information theory wise, there was so much wrong with it, obviously. And then you put it through. I mean, the big idea behind this was video encoders are so good in crunching down data that you would basically kind of encode the information because the QR code would be so efficiently encoded in the video table. But the problem is that MP4 is only so efficient because it uses psychovisual analytics, like the JPEG artifacts that you know. These are just artifacts from making things seem good to the human eye when you're actually radically decreasing the information amount in the signal. So, and QR codes are just black and white, so there's not even shades in there that you can compress. There's no compression going on. And I think there was even something in there where it wasn't actually really using the video. There was like a sidecar database, like some vector database. Yeah, but just seeing the AI slop, big thinkers on Twitter talking about how this is now a huge innovation. And my hunch is that the guy actually didn't program this. He vibe coded this. And my hot take is that he actually vibe coded the idea itself. This is something that ChatGPT comes up with if you try to get it to innovate. And I would, not sure how big a bet I would accept on this, but I would bet money on that this entire thing from start to finish was vibe coded. And probably this AI slop post on Twitter was also generated with ChatGPT. It's LLMs all the way down in our future. You know, people talk about the dead internet and the dead programmer meme, and I think we're already in it. What was the meme? Yeah, this is where we're in now. You better start believing in cyberpunk dystopias, because we are in one right now. I mean, arguably, Laser 2.0 had ideas like this. So I can come up with stuff like this, definitely. I think this needs a lot more innovation. We can make this a lot stupider, I think. This is fine. I know what this is. Yeah, you encode the information in box shadow. It's fine. This is fun stuff. This is not the same level as memvid, because you did not claim that this actually. What would the analogy be in this one? Like if you told people that you have found a better way of encoding images because you have saved a single request by encoding this into the HTML. Like if you put in the style tag basically and look at how many requests I save. I used to have on this page hundreds of image requests and now I have 0. And you know, the HTML is just hundreds of megabytes basically. That would have been it. Oh, it's a framework too. In PHP. Nice. I think a lot of Composer is this actually. This is Enterprise Fizzbuzz all over again. You probably know that, right? I feel like we talked about this way back in the old stream days. Enterprise quality coding. This is basically Box Shadow Enterprise Edition. I was like reading the issues. You need to upgrade to Unit 5. Yeah, this should just all be AI based. Every request should be served by AI. We need more repositories like this, because this is the equivalent of showing the guy the look at the reverse button on this drill. Have you thought about pressing that instead of? And what could I have tried? I could have engineered a reverse bit basically, so that the drill works in reverse, and I could show people how well I go through the aluminium with the reverse bit and the drill set in reverse. We do that so many times in programming, solving problems that we should not have in the first place. There are people on this planet who need this drill bit. I needed that yesterday. But what I actually needed was put the drill in reverse. But people don't like being told that they're stupid, basically. If you can sell them an expensive solution that does the thing they want, the reverse drill bit, then they're actually happy. Yeah. Oh. I would have been your first customer yesterday. I mean, this you can argue that you would have solved my problem, but I mean, just imagine the amount of work and effort you would have to put into designing and putting out a reverse drill bit. And you might argue that, well, if you have a drill that only goes in reverse and you don't want to throw it out, basically, that is the one solution that is still helpful for using that drill. But in that case, it's so obvious why this is a dumb idea. And on the same level, this is also a dumb idea. Yeah. And a part of this is that, I mean, people talk about this. This is also part of this. This discussion is partly about that people think MP4 is a nice container and it might be more efficient than text files because it does compression well. But that just shows you that people aren't actually used to dealing with text files anymore. They just consume databases. And a lot of databases are bad. So if you are bad at using a bad database, suddenly getting just a hint of what you could do with basic text files and binary data seems like a huge improvement. But you could just use text files. And this is basically the solution here, is you should just get better at using text files and not put the drill bit in reverse. And the more AI that we're going to use, I mean, at some point you will be in a company that uses as part of their, I don't know, what was the, the dependency thing. You will be in a company that has as this thing down here some AI vibe coded piece of slop that actually holds up the entire stack, and that is utter and complete nonsense. And now you have to try to replace it with proper code. Oh yeah, I think I saw that. Oh, man, if people knew how good computers are at dealing with text. But there will be some feature where, as much as we right now deal with extraneous bureaucracy in the form of boilerplate code and so forth, we will have the necessity of dealing with just mountains of AI slop that does nothing but waste CPU time. What? And I wonder if at some point AI will get smart enough to not do that. And this is the one place where I'm not convinced by AI, because if you know what you're doing, they're a good idea, because they can just reduce this whole boilerplate nonsense thing that we came up with. So you can write unit tests with it, or deal with some ill-designed API and search the internet, because the internet is just all noise now. But again, this is the reverse drill bit. Instead of using AI to search the internet for us, we should just make the internet better, like it was before. Remember when Stack Overflow was useful, and when Google results were useful? Man, that was some good times. And we're not in that anymore. We are in the cyberpunk dystopia where the whole internet is noise and you need artificial intelligence to get some signal out of all that. We need to get back to signal, man. Which is what I'm trying to do. Yeah, it's all optimized. Everything is search engine optimized. And the best search engine optimized slop that you can do is stuff that looks like signal but isn't. It just looks better than the actual signal. So we're optimizing for theoretical signal. And all the this posting is also designed to look like innovation when it's not. But actually assessing the quality of something is the mechanism that broke. And so people can't do that anymore. Yeah, right, this was the thing. It still uses another vector database for vector search. And yes, the video is obviously larger than a compressed text file. And QR codes are obviously a bad way of encoding data. Everything is obviously wrong about this. It's so bad. Also, good news, you can go to bed soon because I hear my children waking up. I didn't get code done today. Ooh. I just deleted a bit of code. I mean, just the fact that people spend effort into this. The advantage is novelty. Oh, I like these subtle jabs, you know. It's novelty and it is technically self-contained. But then there's the disadvantages. It doesn't scale for ingestion or retrieval. There is no storage efficiency because the MP4 is by a factor of 30x larger. And then this is the actual heavy listing. There's obviously the computation overhead, the error correction overhead. This was probably also done by ChatGPT. This reads like, well, it's inventive and creative. This is way too. I need Linus Torvalds to write this, and it's just one sentence that goes, "You're an idiot," and get good instead of putting out slop. We need more cranky people like Torvalds or like Jonathan Blow to tell people that they're idiots. Because this is a waste of time. It's so obviously not useful and dumb. No, I don't want. I know what it will say. I think I know what it will say. I'm trying to influence it to say how it's bad, because I don't want to. We could also run the reverse and tell it to tell us how it's good, but it looks like I need to be casual in my response. Yes. No, now it's just a web search. Still need traditional index. Yes. That's my point. It still uses an index, which does most of the heavy lifting probably. Let's see what the neutral response is. Ooh. It's smart enough to think about, well, maybe I should look it up on the internet. It's 5,000 stars. And the community is already filing practical issues. What I would add before using it in production is an inventive take on databases file. See? This is the most charitable take that you can get. But if we ever get to a point where we have AI that immediately can tell you this is a stupid idea and we should not do this, then we will have achieved AGI basically. That is what it takes to convince me that we are there, but we are not yet. Definitely. And even all this is nonsense. It should be one sentence that just says, from the information theory standpoint itself, it's just obviously wrong. It can only make things worse. And you could just put it on one single text file. And if you need to be a database, you can... Oh, what was that? I always forget the light... SQLite, right. What you want is SQLite. That is also a single file. And probably a lot better to use than this. And it's ACID compliant and stuff. Game-changing innovation. This is so obviously LLM output. The emojis and all. It's beautiful. Game-changing innovation. Video as database. We're using a lossy compression as a database. We basically need ChatGPT that can slap you. So you tell it, look what I built. Can you put out text that I can put on the repository? And instead of generating this here, it would just slap you. If Grok can do this, like slap you for dumb ideas, then I'm switching over. But it can't right now. And it's still, I mean, the guy was on Twitter and it sounds like he's actually not doing this as a joke. There's still some potential that this is just all a meme. But it doesn't feel like it, man. I think this is his way of getting into the big league. Index 1,000 of books in a single video. I hope that in a few days' time I will see a Hacker News post by the guy talking about how this was all an experiment to see what amount of dumb AI slop people are willing to get into. Are the claims actually what you claim is a good question. Oh. Unfortunate case of tool usage error. This is probably also AI generated. What would that be? It's not dead internet. It's not utopia, it's dystopia. Put that on Twitter. No, no. No, I will not. I will not do that. Nope. No. This is all I will say about this on Twitter. It's called memvid, right? Yeah. Yeah, you can do that. Feel free. There was other, I think. Show agent. He made a show agent post. This is the funniest thing about all this. He made a show agent post. And they were at least properly critical. This is an extremely bad method of storytelling. The context sounds absurd. Even using just PDF files is already dumb. That's the worst thing about it. The first thing you usually do when you build an AI database is you put everything in text. Why does it work so well? It does not. That's the thing. That is the thing. Yeah. But I try to not do these things on Twitter, actually. trying to limit myself to do this like once a week, maybe. But yeah, it's bad. I'll probably clip this though, put it on YouTube, talking about AI. Maybe that'll get me. Maybe that'll get me clicks. I'll also clip the bit about me drilling in reverse. It's actually a nice combination to have two. I think that's what I will do. Put the video up where I talk about how dumb memvid is, and then the first response is a video of me showing how I spent half an hour drilling in reverse, just to balance things out. You need more humility, basically, like that. I'm still trying to get good and drill forward. So, I think this will be it for today. I'm all out of stream. I will be back tomorrow and probably stream some more laser so we can actually put quality into the world. Wouldn't that be a nice thing? Reduce the amount of noise and increase the amount of signal. Thanks. I'm not even logged in, or otherwise I would like this. We are accelerating. This is peak accelerationism. Peak AI accelerationism. And it all hinges on a few people not doing that to decide what the future will be like. And I just hope I'm one of those. I am hoping that with laser I'm not drilling in reverse the whole time. We'll see about that. It still remains to be shown. Anyhow, I wish you some nice sleep, and I will be up again tomorrow with some more of this. Take care. See you tomorrow.